What's up, everybody? Ace the Outsider here with Lelouche on the Galactic Tribe podcast. Here we are, episode 2. Still getting things up and running, but man, do we have a chat for you. All right. Oh, Lelouche, how you feeling,
Yeah,
man?
yo, I'm pretty good, man. I've been doing so much thinking about this movie, since we've seen it now 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready to get some of those thoughts out into the air, get bounce some ideas off of you, and see where we get to, man. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Heard. Gotcha. Well, everybody, welcome to the Galactic Tribe podcast with AC Outsider and Lelouch. Still getting things warmed up over here. But yes, we talk about multiple things, diving into Afrofuturism, diving into the African diaspora, and the many conversations that go on in the media about how our people are represented and how we represent ourselves, how we show up for our art, and how we can go beyond that and keep those conversations going, especially when it comes to titles like the Black Panther, as we are great Black Panther fans here. And we know there's a lot more out there who we definitely want to reach out to and let them know, hey, listen, your conversation has a home here. Your opinions matter. And your creativity matters, man. So the Galactic Tribe, we hosted exclusive screenings for the Black Panther 2. We had 2 theaters on Thursday. We had three theaters on
On
Friday,
Friday.
altogether hosting over 550 people from our community, from ages as young as 6 to 66 and beyond. So yeah, man, we had a lot of people came out, and the vibes was there, man. So we didn't do like the whole African drum on the red carpet thing. Although I would have liked that. I think we could have did it, but we
We do
had
it
a
for
lot
Black
of
Panther 3.
yeah, Black
We,
Panther.
we'll get it right.
Man,
We'll
like
get it
we
right.
doing a whole Cirque du Soleil. Well, it would help if the movie was in the summertime, where it's kind of in November, and that's it might start to get a little colder,
It was
unpredictable.
snowing on
It
Friday, bro.
Oh, you're
Like it
right.
literally
Oh man,
snowed.
yeah. And one of the things that when my homies was talking was like, yo, the hype for this one wasn't the same. And I'm like, I don't know if that's because of because he went with the general public. He didn't go with our group. So I'm wondering if that was because of the weather or if that was because the tone of the movie was a little bit different. So it's hard to get excited when you feel like you're going to um, see a funeral. And then, how do you keep up that hype? But anyway, we still had our people come out, and yeah, that excitement was there. I think people were excited going in, smiles, lines going out the door, concession stands popping. We had some good vibes going. Did a little raffle, that was kind of cool. Simple check-in process, old school. Get in there, sit wherever you want. Yeah, the vibes in the theater was great, man. And I'll tell you one thing. So we saw it. Lucia and I saw it twice, Friday, Thursday, and Friday. But at the same time, we were still trying to get people in seats because would you believe, Galactic Tribe family, that there are some people who think that it's okay to show up late to the biggest movie of probably this decade?
Not just
Like,
regular late. Like the ticket says 6. Like they said, be there at 6. People
man,
showed up at 7:45. Like, can I still get in?
disrespectful, bro. Like, especially the young college kids. Like, you would think they would know better than that. I can understand if you got like a kid or you got, what I'm saying, you had something else going on. But no, come on, you knew about this movie for months. You should have cleared your schedule because you knew what was going down. But what can I say? People got in the seats, whatever. The people who were there had a great time. And so Lelouch and I, we saw it Thursday, Friday. But of course, we missed like the first 15, 20, 30 minutes because we were helping people out. So we went again on Saturday. And, we went to a theater that doesn't have the same population, the same demographic
Mm-hmm.
as the other theaters.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely kind of an adjustment. But we were able to see the full thing from start to finish. So I don't know how we're gonna structure this out, man. I don't know if you want to start at the very beginning of the film. You want to do like an overall opinion type of thing.
All right.
What you feeling?
All right, so I say, well, let's talk about just the experience of the movie without
Yeah,
before we get into the movie.
yeah.
How did you feel? We already mentioned it, but like, how did you feel the difference being, in the theater with our people
Yeah.
versus being in the other theater? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. Man, listen, I felt it in my bones, and it aggravated me. It kind of almost ruined the experience for me, fam. Like, there's just certain things about when you're doing a Black Panther movie or any movie that has an audience or has a that's created by people of color, where there's certain things that you're just not going to pick up on because you're not really into the culture like that. You know what I'm saying? If you're just going to see a Marvel movie and this is just another Marvel movie to you, then you're gonna feel alienated because you're not in it like that. It's a little different than seeing an Ant-Man movie or a Thor movie. But I felt the same way about a lot of shows that I watched growing up, like Family Guy. All the references, Simpsons, all the
Right.
references. Watching that, I'm like, I don't understand who the f is. I might know Cher or
Mm.
a couple of other people who kind of cross genres a little bit, but there's just some things that I just don't get. So I understand it. But I still would rather 100 times see it with our people because our people are laughing at the jokes because there was so much nonverbal communication and the
Mm.
way that Black women and Black men look at each other when there's something going on, like being able to pick up on that, adds to the experience. And even though, you have some people who like to talk a lot through the movie, little kids, I have to jump back into the row behind me for a quick second and snatch some kids up because they thought it would be cool to play patty cake, whatever they was doing.
Mm.
But outside of that, the way we laugh, the way we react together, like it just adds to the experience so much more.
I
So
thoroughly agree.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like as a kid, I used to kind of get annoyed by like when like the crowd would talk back to the movie, but now I kind of live for it. Like I want to hear what they got to say when there's
Yeah.
certain parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like when finally getting to see it from the beginning at the other theater,
Mm-hmm.
like it made me wish that I had seen like the beginning. I wish we were in there when with
Mm.
for the funeral. I wish we were in there
Yeah.
when the queen went on her rant
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in the
In the UN.
consulate.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh my god, I wish we were there for it, but I can't say it necessarily ruined the experience because like I was there to like just kind of get a greater understanding of like some of the themes in the movie and seeing
Yeah.
it that third time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I still got it, but yeah, it's just certain
It,
like
it would have been better if
y'all
you
didn't.
had been around the
Yeah,
piece. Yeah.
yeah. Cause like they didn't understand how funny Riri was. Like Riri was hilarious in that
Cracking up.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, and they didn't laugh at her at all. I was like,
At
what is
all,
you?
man. Yo, how do you not
Right.
laugh at Riri, yo?
Hmm.
And you know why? Because Riri is the type of person will like they gotta avoid. Because if
Mm-hmm.
someone like Riri go off on them, they won't know what to do.
Because you saw what happened when it happened in the movie. At her first scene, she walk up to do where my money at, bro. Like, like that type of
Right.
aggression is scary to them, but it's so natural to us,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like you get the full energy of it because you know you're more receptive to it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So, yeah, but that experience was on point, especially coming out of it and seeing that. Speaking of Riri, there was a gentleman who came out and said, "Yo, Riri is just like my daughters. My daughters would have done
Mm-hmm.
the exact same thing, and that's in those situations. They ain't touching no food they don't recognize. If somebody owes them some money and they don't pay up, they up in the price. Yesterday's price is not today's price. All right, and they don't
Right.
care how great of a celebrity you are. If you coming off weird to them, they gonna react a certain way. They're picking up that heater. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, seeing kids dressed up as Black Panther, like my nephew, he had a full Black Panther outfit on with the light up mask. That was hard. And yeah, just seeing older people excited for this movie and everything, and um, just people coming out of the theater and just saying, "Yo, they loved it. Yo, thank you for doing this for us. That this has been amazing." So that was really uplifting. So I'm really glad about the experience. The movie theater personnel were super helpful. Really excited. My man Harry, he had the
Bro.
necklace on and everything with all the pins and the beanie. You know what I'm saying? Saying Wakanda Forever to everybody who went to go see the
Mm-hmm.
film. Like he had kept a smile on the entire time. So shout out to Harry for holding
Yeah,
that
he did
spirit
his
down.
thing, man. He did his
Yeah.
thing at the Women King one too.
Yeah.
A couple months back. So I mean, I got respect for him. That's my favorite regal
Mm-hmm.
employee right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But so yeah, that was the experience, man. How did you like the experience of everything?
Man, so I I've had the pleasure of setting up many events like that before, but it was never for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It
Mm-hmm.
was for work and doing, I was getting paid to do it, so I can't complain about the experience of doing it because I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it's a whole nother connotation when it is for us. You know what I'm saying? If I'm doing it
Yeah.
for people in our community trying to experience this movie, because this movie was an experience. It's not like
Yeah.
this wasn't just like, like a pull up and like, oh, that was a well written story and you just thumbs up it. No, this was a vibe. Like this was a part of the movement, and it's just so like to really get into some of the imagery that you saw there. Like this was different. Ryan Coogler was on
Mm-hmm.
his shit for this. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to have that and be able to give that to people who may not have been able to do that, like there was a lot of people that wouldn't have had them like the money to get in that theater to watch that movie because movies
Yeah.
are so expensive now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it was great, and then being able to connect with so many different people, um, just seeing that many people come together to do something good is it's just a beautiful thing. So
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed that, and then to see how people were receptive to it, how much they enjoyed it, that was great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then,
Speaking of people who couldn't see the movie, who had to pay for the movie, I did find one. I did see one kid who was recording while the movie was going on, and I just thought, like, okay, maybe he's just recording one scene. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. This kid was recording everything. I'm like, yo, it's been about a good half an hour, 40 minutes. I'm going to say something.
yo, he
I
about
do
to
not
put it up
care.
on a torrent.
You know what I mean? Whether he was about to do a torrent or show off his friends, I couldn't tell if he was going live or if he was just recording. I think he was just recording on his phone because the picture quality looked real cool and it didn't like any comments were popping up. But still, yo, kid, if you had paid for this movie, whatever. I don't know you, cool, whatever. But you came to a movie you got to see for free. Like, come on.
That's a
Like, no,
different
put your,
level of
get your
savage.
phone away. And I walked up to that kid. I said, yo, unless you got $3,000 to pay me and my team back for this movie, turn your phone off. Like, straight like that. Oh, man. So, but yeah, anyway, go on with your
All right,
point.
but no, so I don't even remember it now because I was laughing at this story. But let's go into the movie, man. With
All right.
this first act of the movie before get going all the way up to where Namor first shows up in front of Shuri and the Queen. How
Mm-hmm.
you feel about that, man? What you think?
Yeah, I think I think I like how they kind of kept him in the dark for those scenes. Not actually showing what he looked like that helicopter stopped. He swung that gun around and threw it back
You
at.
say, why are we moving backwards?
So that was kind of cool to see. I think that they did Namor really, really well. That first act. Um, and well, let me backtrack to also the funeral scene and finally being able to see that after 2 times of missing it. Definitely was a thing to see. I'm glad they didn't drag it out too long. Um, and this is funny because I do have kind of two levels of how I see this movie, because a part of me gives it a 9.5, another part of me gives it like a 7.5. And so one of the
Oh, we
jokes
gotta
my
get to
friends and I
both.
were making earlier, oh man, one of the jokes my friend was making earlier. So the child is just sick. He's just sick. Is that what's going on? he got a cold. He, to, you were able to fix a man's spine from a bullet wound with a little bead, but the child got COVID. Like, what's up? Like, what actually happened here? So, but I
he,
get it.
he got vibranium COVID. It's like beyond regular COVID
Man, yeah, right.
because he was next to vibranium and enhanced it.
Yo,
Yeah.
listen, yeah, man. But anyway, but yeah, the funeral part was cool. It was nice to see, and it felt like a good send off. You know what I'm saying? I definitely, the tears were going at that part. Again, we kind of missed that the first 2 times, and the silence in the theater. Even though the third time there weren't as many people in that theater, still people were sniffling. You know what I'm saying? And I was one of them. Kayla was one of them. She was right next to me. We both had
you
the
know,
blot the eyes and
the
everything. So
silence and the Marvel
Yeah,
lettering coming down, bro. I
yeah, that
was like,
was.
why you doing that? Like, I just came here to watch a movie.
Woo,
Like,
man, yeah, bro, yeah, it was heavy on the heart,
yeah.
um, but yeah, so that scene was cool, and showing the uneasiness of everybody, the cast and everything as they're trying to deal with it, especially Ramonda, and how people were still testing her, fam. Like she was in that UN and handling it, man. Like it's insane. Like, okay, y'all think y'all got something. Okay, brought in the soldiers. The way the Doors looked in that scene too, like they were there for the UN, but looked better than everybody else that there, but still had prisoners from the people they captured. Man, that was great to see. She said kneel in their language, and they kneeled down, like had them boys trained. Okay,
Yeah.
like that.
No. See,
There's
that
yeah.
scene was just so cold. Like the you saw the French, consulate woman saying, "Oh, we would never do this, blah blah blah," and she
Lying to
tells them
her
in
face.
French, "Neil,
Hmm.
let me
Oh, she
return
said
you
it in
back to
French.
your
Oh,
yeah
okay. Yeah,
in
okay.
French,
Oh,
bro.
that's
Like
wild.
savage. I
Yeah,
loved it. I
yeah,
loved
yeah. There,
it.
there's somebody. Oh man, I was about to make a joke. That's a little too advanced for this show, but there's somebody in that crowd who really, really was into that part. So, but we ain't got to
hmm
go too much into
Yeah,
that. But yeah, no, just that. It's the
we say that
cold
for
scene.
Beichin.
Yeah, right. But the Dora are always cold, man. The Dora always come through. I think they were done well. I think they could have, got a little more shine, especially later on in the fourth act. But the first act, dope, and then Namor shows up, rising out that water. The way he came out the water, that's the first thing I walked in on for the first time,
Same.
and
I
I
was
was
right there
like,
next to you.
yeah, 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 and we were like, oh snap! The way this man just came out the water with the wings flapping. Yeah, nah, it was really. I think they built it up really nicely. Like if you didn't know who Namor was, you was about to find out in that scene.
Mm.
And name overall, Namor is a great antagonist for this film. I think that Tenoch Huerta knocked it out the park. Um, just because of how level he was, but at the same time was not trying to bud from his plan. I think
hmm
that the way he did it is, and again, the same way you thought, like, yo, Killmonger kind of had a point. Namor kind of had a point too, right? It was just like, listen, I got all these people to protect. Ain't nobody about to get in my way. I don't care who you are, who you with. I know I got the most powerful nation in the world. I have the weapons. I have the technology. I have the numbers. You don't want it with me.
Mm.
So whatever I'm about to do, you about to learn how to either deal with it or you against me too. So, um, yeah, and just like his fight scenes, his ability to fly, I think that they captured that really well. Just
Oh
balancing him
man.
between his underwater and the above water was pretty cool. I kind of wish they had more of him underwater, and I kind of
Mm.
wish they took the fight underwater. That would have been insane. But at the same time, Shuri ain't about to hold her own against Namor in the water.
Oh,
No,
she
you're just
no.
not. You're just not. Like
Like the only
nobody.
reason. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody
nobody in that
is.
film.
No.
Already. You see what happened to him,
It's
Baku?
Baku. Yo, okay. Well, I'm skipping ahead, but I got to talk about this because we
Sure.
here.
Yeah.
Like you see in Mbaku's energy, kill the fish man. Like it's he was so violent towards this man
Yeah.
until he got hit in his chest.
Changed his mind. He was.
He's like, you have to understand. They call him the serpent god. The serpent god. Meaning, even if we kill him, they still will come for us forever. Like, wait, weren't you just? I could have sworn you said let's
Right.
kill the fish man.
Oh man, and that's what the nerd,
Yo,
that's what the Hoteps is mad about, man. They're like, wait a minute, you punched the fight out of a black man. Oh man, the black man ain't being represented properly in this film. But
bro, you
listen, and this is the second
let one
time
of
this has
them
happened in
even.
Marvel. This is the second time it's happened in Marvel. Like the same thing happened to the Hulk.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Thanos beat the fight out of the Hulk. The Hulk got the fight beat out of him.
He
Like,
he beat the anger out the Hulk, bro. How does that work? Like
oh man, insane.
without
But
the gauntlet at that, like he said,
on
let
top of
me.
that,
Yeah, but
nuts. But okay, so second act, So this is between when Namor came out the water, and we get to see Atlantis, or we get to see
Telecon.
Talakon. I thought that was a pretty well done thing. What do you think of Talakon?
Oh, Telecon was beautiful, man. It honestly, the way Telecom was portrayed, Atlantica's gonna have some work cut out for it with the
Justice League.
no, not the Justice League, the Little Mermaid movie coming out with no Halle
Oh
Bailey.
yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it was gorgeous. Like the way that they shot it, like the fact that they were actually underwater for some of those scenes, like
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't imagine how much money they spent to make Telecon what it was, but
Mm-hmm.
they did their thing. And I got a lot of I don't know if you remember this old movie called The Road to El Dorado,
Oh yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
gave me a lot of vibes from that. Like they were playing
Yeah.
the same little
The
hit
same
game
game.
through
Mm-hmm.
the thing. So I
Yeah.
mean, it oh my god, it was beautiful. I can't really speak on like the cultural accuracy of it because
For
I'm
sure.
not gonna pretend I'm a historian, and I apologize. But
Yeah. Yeah.
what I saw of it, I was just like, man, you the set design, whoever did this is a genius.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it worked really well. I think I would like to see a little more of the technology side, just kind of see what they did with vibranium. Like if there's like transports or something that they use, but they seemed a little bit more connected to the underwater realm. Just how
Mm-hmm.
they're riding on the fish and everything like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. I still would like to see even more of that. Besides them riding on the fish, like how are they interacting with their underwater realm? But yeah, I think they got that really really well done. And you also notice how their skin turned colors, depending
Mm-hmm.
whether they were above water or below. At first, I'm like, maybe it's like a trick of light thing because maybe everything looks blue underwater. But then I'm like, okay, maybe their skin reacts with oxygen a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, okay, well, that's a great creative choice because, again, how I talked about in the first episode, how Atlantis had been tied to racist perceptions of nations with hidden cities and whatnot, and also how people feel when you change the color of someone's skin. So I think that was really well done. So when they're home, when they're in their environment, they look they're brown skin, and they're more relatable to the person who they're representing. When they leave the water, that's when they turn blue and everything. So I thought that was a great creative choice on their part.
Mm-hmm. I thoroughly agree. Just like their whole design was cool because it was so natural. Because like they had the vibranium, but they used it in a very raw sense. Like they
Mm-hmm.
weren't like the technologically like inclined like the Wakandans were with it. Like
Mm-hmm.
like their spears just had like vibranium tips, and it was just on a wooden
Yeah.
spear and stuff. So like it was they just show like how much different they used it, and
Mm-hmm.
just seeing how versatile of a thing vibranium itself is within the MCU.
Yeah.
I definitely
Yeah.
enjoy seeing that, and then just they're super powered and they can heal. Like, and he
Yeah.
said he's got more warriors than Blades of Grass. So it's like,
Man, yo,
jeez.
you gotta
I
be
mean, and you
cold
saw
to
the
say that to
numbers.
somebody. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, the Telecon is a force, a major force, and it was shown throughout this movie. Because can we talk about the bridge scene, bro?
We can talk
Like,
about the bridge scene. Let's talk about the bridge scene. I was gonna go back to that dorm scene before we okay, so before the
yeah, yeah,
bridge
no,
scene,
no,
let's
no,
talk
get
about
the
that
dorm,
dorm
dorm.
scene.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. That was my favorite scene of the entire movie because it was so natural and hilarious, bro. Like the way they were talking to each other, like it's funny. I mean, just like from the part that you said with the MIT dude and everything, from that part to like the dorm joint was just like it was so fun to see the banter. It felt natural, and it was entertaining. It was entertaining
Mm.
because that's literally how women talk to each other. And even though these women are from Africa and Riri is from Chicago, right? Seeing that
Side
banter is like they kind
town.
of know the exactly right. They know the exact lingo to use, whether they're friends or not. Like I just met you. I'm gonna call your head at you. you know, they were not holding back with the
Mm.
jokes either, yo. And Baku called
Mm.
Okoye a bald
The
headed demon.
Buckhead Demon, bro, that
Oh
was
my
savage.
god, you bald headed demon.
Yo, Winston Duke was in his bag comically
Yeah,
this movie.
yeah.
Like he said, "Oh." She rescued her daughter. Now she's rewarded with eternal banishment. So I was like, yeah.
Yo, yeah, nah, man, yeah, I loved M'Baku every second of it. Any scene with M'Baku was entertaining for me to watch. And the thing they also do really well is showing how like not out the picture the Jabari are. Like, oh, you think that because we live in the mountains we don't have books, like things like that. Really just capture, just because these are the gorilla people doesn't mean they're uncultured, which I think was another great fight against the colonial perception of people who live, in certain places. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, Riri's reaction to Okoye coming out her bathroom
because she was about to try to sneak out the window in the bathroom.
right,
you knew that was happening. She was like,
"Oh, here comes Okoye,
yeah,
tall as ever, shoulders out to here, looking like a Saiyan walking out the dang bathroom." Oh man, slice the JB. RIP to the JBL speaker, man. Yeah, Okoye was not playing. You brought a spear in. And she went from being terrified to being like, "You should be conscious of the way you look." You said,
like, get the ash off your head. Like you said, it was. Yo,
oh man,
that scene was that was honestly, from there, like from getting to MIT to that bridge was like the best part of the entire movie. Like that, if they could have organized that to somehow be last, I would have been like, like perfect movie right there.
Yeah, that was a really entertaining. Even like the with the garage scene was hilarious to me too, because she was really mad that the feds was at her door. I must have been crazy thinking the Wakanda's wanted my help, and she over here burning everything like she's doing she's doing an anger scene in only the way a Black woman could, and that was just beautiful to me. She was not having it, and then got in her suit, and then you heard the cop go, "Oh, she got an Iron Man suit!" Like that line took me out, man. Like that was hilarious, and also just Shuri being a rebel and doing the exact opposite of what Okoye told her. Like, man, yeah, Letitia, the way that Shuri was presented in this entire film, I really, really enjoyed it, because a lot of hardcore fans didn't like the youthful take they had put on Shuri, and whatever, I can kind of get it, whatever. But the way that she kind of came up this time was that she was more aggressive, arrogant, assertive, and a bit selfish, which is why she didn't get Black Panther in the comics. That's why she couldn't take the herb. She didn't get Bast's blessing in the comics because of the way her attitude was. And we got to see that, especially when, who showed up in her dream or in the astral plane. So
we're going to get to that, because that's my favorite scene.
We're going to get to that. Okay, but bridge scene.
Listen.
Okoye, the general, taking on 4 unknown enemies with no scale. She has no idea what they're capable of, but still whooped these boys out relatively quickly, right? And the fact that Okoye can fight superhumans, like most characters don't do too great against superhumans, especially ones that can regenerate, right? But here she was, by her lonesome, defending 2 young Black girls because she had to, right? So that was dope. Yeah. And she does it without armor. She does it without too many enhancements besides that vibranium spear, which she uses very well. So, that bridge scene was definitely a great watch.
Yeah.
Like, kick that spear back. Was like, pick that joint back up.
Yeah, we ain't done yet, bro. We ain't done yet.
Wait, hold on. Girl still knocked out. Okay, but pick the spear back up. Round 2.
I thought that was beautiful. It just goes, like, that whole scene just goes to show how much Ryan Coogler like dived into the other Marvel movies, because that scene mirrored. I don't know if you've seen Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It mirrored that fight scene between Captain America and Bucky on the bridge. Like with how they got some of the shots and made sure he took out the music. Like,
that was a great fight scene right there.
Yeah. Like, so he definitely kind of took a little bit from that and put it into that, and it came out beautifully. Like, just seeing Okoye's high level of skill, and then just the brute versus the brute strength, and
Yeah.
skill of
Atuma.
Atuma.
Hmm.
Like that was so beautifully shot. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness!
Yeah. Her arm got
And then,
dislocated and everything, bro. And she
mhm.
popped that joint back into place, like, and kept fighting after that. Man, that's the general right
But
there.
even leading up to that, like seeing Riri scene where she is looking up, well, calculating the where
Yeah.
the drone is going,
The
flying
tra-
up there, blasting it down, and then having that land perfectly on the bridge to where that roadblock
yeah.
was
While she was
masterful.
losing oxygen, mind
Right. And
you.
that was and that's another thing. Like Coogler mirrored the scene from Iron Man 1 where
Hmm.
Tony Stark flew into space and like was testing how high he could fly
Yeah.
and lost his
Hmm.
oxygen. Like, so for her to be able to do that while also calculating that just shows how far advanced she is to even where Tony was when he first started. So
Hmm.
I physically cannot wait to see more of Ironheart in that series, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
She was fantastic in that movie.
They served her up right. They definitely did. And you have that's super genius type of that's a super genius type of thing. This girl is 19 years old, built her own Iron Man suit. From the south side of Chicago. Father, parents, in their situation. Still at MIT hustling these white boys in order to do their grades, to get them good grades. And like just black excellence all over. Like I'm also very much excited for anything that Ironheart is in. So I would love to see her team up with Spider-Man. Would love to see her team up with they try to do like a champions type thing. That'd be kind of interesting. But even if they don't go that route, still whatever she's doing, whatever she's
I
got her
mean,
hands on, she's gonna be
Young
bad.
Avengers is coming and she's going to be in there.
Oh, word. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I figured they're about to like line up the next generation of heroes, so that'd be
Hmm.
cool. Yeah. 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 She's definitely better than a lot of the other young heroes we've been kind of seeing. Like I'll take her over Kate Bishop any day.
Kate is nice though. I like Kate, but yeah,
Kate's cool.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll take
Kate's
her
cool
over
as well.
Kamala too, because Kamala, I mean, she's strong, but she kind of like she use her powers stupid sometimes.
Right.
She got some developing to do.
Right, right, and that's the thing. That's what I'm getting at too. Like, even though Riri's a little bit older, the way she uses her abilities makes her a problem. Like the same way, even Tony was a problem. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
to now that we got a young black girl who is a problem, I'm sorry, another young black girl who is a problem. Man, yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. Of course, Angela Bassett just serving up acting skills of a legend, just like man, that another throne room scene, iconic. Just the pain and the hurt, stripping the general of the general title was just like, yo, like I was shocked at that part because I did not see
I
that
didn't
coming
either.
at all.
But you
And
couldn't like after she gave her speech, you couldn't even argue against it. It was like,
can't even. And where is your treacherous husband now?
mm,
He called him treacherous. Oh man, yeah, that was a very tense scene.
mm.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man. And then I'm
Uh,
looking through my notes because on that third watch, I was definitely trying to take notes, and some of them are a bit everywhere. But
mm.
um, yeah, yeah. But anyway, so all right, so Shuri, gets freed by the one, the only, the chocolate goddess herself,
Oh yes.
Lupita, aka Nakia. Um, and also, you notice on the third watch how that little boy would, yeah, okay, all
He was
right.
he was in the school. He was in the school.
Like, oh, y'all think y'all slick, y'all think y'all
Hmm.
so slick. But yeah, so Lupita acting her butt off as well, being able to be a spy, talk these different languages. I don't know how she learned uh that Aztec or Mayan dialect so quickly, but she did, and found her
She
way
just like that.
underwater.
She
She's
probably
just
already
like
knew
that.
it. She probably
Yeah.
already knew it.
For real facts though. Just more black genius at work. But yeah,
Mm.
saves Shuri and Riri, but also starts a war. So, oh man,
Mm.
Namor, Namor, Namor coming
More.
down
How'd you feel
after.
about the backstory for Demore? Like his rant, like talking about you know of course seeing his mom in his village, they're getting pushed out by the smallpox from the Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
having to go underwater to become, the merman that they are,
Mm-hmm.
and then finding out Namor is a mutant. So
Mm-hmm.
really doubling down on having mutants in the MCU,
Yeah.
and him coming up and saying, "Oh, y'all do slave stuff too, and y'all polluting this world. Oh, burn everything, burn everything.
Yeah.
They gotta go."
Yeah. I kind of wish instead of burning things, he would have drowned, drowned that area and left it for himself. Like, I'm kind of surprised they didn't have him already drown a city or two just off the shore.
Hmm.
Like, I think they should have like
That would have made
separated.
sense.
Yeah. 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 Just like, no, this is ours now. Just do it right back to him. But I did like the backstory. I think that was a very well done. Instead of having this this region live for thousands and thousands of years, 500 years or whatever, like that was pretty cool. And also like the fact that the shaman had like a vision to have him go find this herb, I think is pretty interesting. And I think that Marvel could expand a little bit more on how deities act, because we have yet to see Bast for real, for real. Like we kind of got a glimpse in Thor, but we like Bast isn't really a character like that in the Wakanda movies. Which kind of brings me to another point, which is remind me to circle back between a connection between Angela Bassett and Bast. But um, I think that they have room to expand on that, because maybe those gods are connected. Maybe however vibranium is growing or whatever plant is connected to that South America, like they should be able to connect the gods and see. Or maybe that was Bast, like because Bast in the comics will really do the wildest thing and still make it make sense. Like, yeah, I put your people in chains because this is how it's supposed to go. This is your fault, T'Challa. You did this. All right, this is on you. You need to be taught a lesson, and I'm gonna keep my power at the end of it. Like, so.
Well, I mean, yeah. One thing that terrible Thor 4 movie did establish is the pantheon of the gods, and so I mean, it's out there literally in space. So I mean, who knows? We might see a Black Panther adventure where people have to go to space and run into Bass. That would be pretty dope. But that's random tangent. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he's spot on. He's spot on. But yeah. So when Namor came out with the headdress of the Serpent God and
Ooh, the
addressed his
rain.
people, yo, the sound leading up to the rain, like, and there's a lot of things about the score that I really love too. The way they integrate sound effects with the score was dope. So if we backtrack to the beginning where the Talakani were taking over the ship and how they were singing, like it kept rising. It was like a crescendo. You know what I'm saying? I went along with the score. Like that was dope. But yeah, him coming down in that serpent headdress and everybody just ready for war. That monologue was pretty dope. I got excited about that. So yeah, that was a
were
fun
you
scene.
rocking with the Kamehameha wave?
No.
That
That was funny. Yeah, some people weren't feeling that salute either. It's just like I don't think I'm gonna see, like, if I walk around and I see people doing that salute to each other, I'll be surprised. I'd be really, you know what I'm saying? Because we
I
were
don't think
doing
it's
this
gonna catch.
we were doing
I don't
this
think it's
forever.
gonna
We was
catch.
crossing our arms for a good few years, and still do. But if I see if I'm and I live on a West Side, fam, so I know I'm gonna see my Latino people out here doing that. If I see them doing this, that's how I know. Okay, this movie is doing something. This movie's definitely doing something. Oh
Yo,
man,
if I see some thugged out Latinos come up and
yo, oh my
just
gosh,
real quick, just
got the tattoos on their knuckles and everything, just like, oh man, that'd be insane.
yo, okay, but yeah, like that scene, like the rant, the energy that he put into the people, and how you saw that build up as his speech went on was masterful. Like
Yeah.
that was a brilliantly filmed scene. I cannot rave about that one enough, man.
Yeah, and then we see where it took them. They took that fight to Wakanda. Oh man, that was a lot. That was a lot in that sequence. So yeah, so now Okoye has been stripped of her rank. She's trying to talk things out with Nakia, and then the water starts to flood. Before Okoye can even get the sentence out, explosions everywhere, and Wakanda is under attack. And people are running for their lives, and M'Baku's trying to save people, Nakia, Okoye, they're all trying to save people. And Namor's getting active, yo. Like he is darting through laser blasts, flying, attacking the ships. Again, they utilize his powers really well. Like he was untouchable when he was flying. Like he was just
like
untouchable.
just like skipping through the air, like
Yeah,
he was smooth, man. He
yeah.
That is a very problematic person in the MCU right now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a whole lot of people that can actually beat him with between his strength, his maneuverability, his
Yep.
mastery over the water, and being able to fight in the air.
Mm-hmm.
That's a major problem. Major
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, and they didn't even like use his ability to manipulate waters either. Like that's what I
Mm.
really want to see going forward. Like just him having the ability to make tornadoes on the like water tsunamis. Like that'd be hard right there. Like I'm excited to see that too. Um yeah, and
What do you think about the pressurized water bombs? Essentially,
yeah,
I
those are also a problem. Like damn. Those things are frightening. Just like and I'm like, how much water is in these things to where like it
exactly.
flooded the kingdom? Like how do you even pack water into a thing like that? I could have sworn there's something with uh physics that doesn't allow that, but I guess if they got
Hey,
vibranium,
they
anything
got
is
it's like
possible.
it's vibranium, bro. Like
Oh
he
man, the
made a
cheat code.
sun in the ocean, bro. Like
That was a beautiful touch. I really like seeing that. Even in the depths, I could bring the sun to my people. That was cool. That was cool. Um, but yeah, man, M'Baku should have worn some tougher armor. I don't know why he decided to wear wood or whatever that was made out of. I know. Okay, well, I forgot that the Jabari don't really rock a vibranium like that. They don't try to manipulate it. That should have been the day that M'Baku started
yeah,
rocking. Like, sir, you are in
because
danger.
he
All
told that
right,
man, "Say it with your chest." Like,
man.
ugh.
The little wooden club broke on impact. Like, oh man, that's how we knew he
And
effed up.
there was no glory to Hanuman there.
No, Hanuman is like,
like fight back.
damn. Oh man, but okay, so we're under attack, right? And here comes one of the most terrifying scenes, which I also have a problem with for a number of reasons. The attack on the queen in the throne room. I feel like there should have been more warriors, around uh Queen Ramonda at this time. Like, if the nation is under attack, why isn't someone protecting the queen? Why
Why
isn't
isn't
somebody in the throne
everyone
room?
like
Why isn't
a
yeah?
whole squad?
Like like the Dora are supposed to be a massive force. They're supposed to be in the thousands. I mean, for the movies, they kept them like kind of in the hundreds, or maybe it's like even more, no more than a few dozen Dora. There should be like thousands of them protecting somebody and warriors in general, right? Um, yeah, I kind of wish the nations kind of showed up with a little bit more. You would think the River Tribe would have like another way to save people, like they got some type of boat or something to help people in the emergency of a even though a flood is like the most unlikely thing to happen in that part of Africa. Still, um, I think they could have prepared a little bit better for this whole thing. But there should have been like some weapons inside the throne room. There should have been something, but we got nothing, which was annoying. And then the unimaginable happens, the thing that we didn't see coming at all, the death of Queen Ramonda. The whole theater was on edge. We were pissed, yo. Like, I haven't seen or felt people get pissed at a movie in a long, 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 long time. I can't remember when the last time I've seen people get pissed like that. Maybe when Chris Brown died at the beginning of Stomp the Yard. Maybe that might have been it. But since then, I haven't seen or felt people more pissed than that scene right there. And personally, I feel like they could have did without that, because it always seems that Marvel, just movie. Well, yeah, Marvel, but a lot of movies in general use death as a motivator, and I don't think that always has to be the case. Like, I think that she could have been comatose, and still we would have had the same
I
transformation
agree.
of events
I agree.
afterwards. Um, I do feel like they're going to use that a bit differently going forward. I feel like they'll use Ramonda as a spirit guide, which kind of makes sense, given that in the Dajalia in the comics, It was a projection of Shuri's mother, Queen Ramonda, that guided Shuri in the Jalia to all the Wakanda knowledge. So I think that that's something they could use. I'm just mad that it happened. I kind of thought that Killmonger would be somebody like that. I thought that would be like some redemption for him. But you saw that was something different too. But yeah, I was really torn with that scene. Like, oh, man, I heard people crying at that one, just like, not Angela, no, like, come on, son.
Yeah, especially with how strongly she started this movie. I don't think you needed her death for the impact of Shuri's behavior at the end to make sense. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
you have her be hurt or comatose and be out for a while. It hits the same level. Um, I'm with you. Like, death does not have to be the
Yeah,
only motivator. Like, this dude just came in and like destroyed your country in like 4 seconds. Like, that's enough motivation for
that's
me.
enough, right?
It's like, oh, you came in, you blew up my lab. Like,
Oh
what is?
man,
Oh no! Like,
yeah.
there's smoke. The smoke is there now. You don't need to also kill my mom, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
when he
that.
said you were the queen now, I was hoping that she would wake up. I was so hoping that she was gonna
Ooh.
wake up from that, because if that was his line on the way out, this gotta die. I was liking him as a villain until now, and now he needs a spear through his chest. You gotta put the knife where it belongs.
Hmm.
Oh man, yeah, that was hard. That was a hard one. Um,
Yeah,
so
and
now
then
Shuri, yeah, go ahead.
it seems like, and then you just get that her funeral, which just the start of Baku just having the complete opposite energy. Like, this man, he was changed. His life got
Yeah, changed
changed on
man.
that day.
Oh
Because
man.
before that, he was insulting Shuri, disregarding the line of ascension, making jokes about everybody, saying, "Kill
Everybody.
this man,
All
kill
right.
this fish man," and then I am your friend. I told your brother I would watch over you. I was like, when did he do that? I don't see that in the movie.
Yo,
I didn't
right?
see that
Oh man.
happen.
Sir. Yeah, Baku, come on, son.
No, I'm
Where
not
did the
mad at it because, like, I mean,
right.
he's honestly right. Like, he is the legit voice of reason
Yeah.
that she needed because we'll get to that scene next because I mean
Yeah.
we got to talk about it. But she was
Mm-hmm.
ready, like
Yeah.
she was ready to kill this man.
Wasn't nothing you
Like,
could tell her.
she
Nothing.
went to Mbaku, said like, I'm gonna kill this man and you gonna help
You're
me
gonna
do
help me do
it.
it.
I was like,
Straight like that.
oh.
We leave in the morning.
Like, the
Yeah.
thugness right there. Like,
Shuri definitely bossed up, man. Like,
yeah, I
um,
enjoyed that.
yeah, but it was cool to see her synthesize a another heart shaped herb, because again, we missed the first two times we watched it. We missed the whole thing
Mm,
about she couldn't get the herb to work. I didn't know that for the first two watches. I'm just like, okay,
mm,
this is a thing. I thought they already had knew that the herb was gone, but I know she had tried to make another one.
right. To save her
Um,
brother, yeah.
yeah. But everybody else reacted in the crowd. That explained it. I'm like, oh, because they saw that it didn't work to save her
Hmm.
brother. So now that it worked this time, it's like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, Shuri finding her resolve, completing this new heart shaped herb, and then she took it. And then we got another surprise, one of the biggest twists of Marvel history, because not you can't do this twist too many times. Like if they do something like show Black Widow, like only a few people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, Black Widow's back. Like, no, it's okay, but okay, whatever. Black Widow's back. Yeah, cool. They brought back the man himself, the Golden Jaguar, the body bagger.
Yeah. He just
Lucius
came in.
Mans.
Halo,
Yeah.
cuz. It was like, oh.
Like, oh, they trying to get spicy with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killmonger came back, y'all. Killmonger came back.
And
I want to know how y'all felt. Y'all gotta let me know how y'all felt about that one. I don't know, whatever way you want to communicate how you felt about that scene in particular. DM us, let us know how you
put it in the
felt about
comments.
that.
Put it in the comments
Put
of
it
this
in the
video
comments. Yeah. Oh,
when
that's
it's
right.
up.
Yeah, I forgot we got comments and everything. But yeah, dog. So Eric, the man, and Dajaka came back.
So he comes back, goes on his little rant saying like, "Nah, you don't talk about your mom because she did what she could, but your father was a hypocrite, and your brother was too noble, bro. Like they don't really get stuff done. You like me, you want to get stuff done, right?
Oh man,
let's do it right. Like we don't need we not here for this other and like his rant was so cold. I wish I could remembered it to the point where I could say it word for word.
Yeah.
But I'm going to once it gets on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's gonna be in like a bunch of statuses. Like, yeah, for real. Like
yeah. Are you gonna end up like them or are you gonna handle business like me? Oh man, yeah, nah, he definitely was cold with that line. And the throne room caught on fire and everything.
Like how do it's water and fire at the same time? And it like
such a great juxtaposition.
Oh my god! That's wet fire, not Klay Thompson in Space Jam. That's wet fire. Okay.
Oh man, yeah, that was really fun to watch. His fit was crazy too. And you notice how like they kind of ended up with the same hairdo as well. Like, yeah, man, I was like, yo, she woke up out that dream pissed that she saw her.
She said, "No, I'm gonna walk past my father and my brother helmets. I'm not with that right now. I'm not with that. I'm gonna go pick up this gold one and I'm gonna swag this out." Like, and then get the guy her hair braided up like him. I was just like, I love this. I was so happy in that time span. Like this again, like this movie created so many great moments.
Yeah,
that it's hard to score it badly, but then it does have its weak points, and we're gonna get into those as we get to this third act. But man, I enjoyed this movie. Before I start knocking it, because I gotta throw some jabs at it
for sure.
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
Yeah. So Shuri gets the herb in her, punches the suit. They're like, oh shit.
Can I get some of that?
Riri the entire time. Just Riri. I just love her addition to this film. But the way she dropped down into the cavern was also so cold. Even though we saw it in the previews and everything, the way that people cheered at that scene was just great, man. And again, yo, we had to start cheers in that third watch in that theater that was half empty. Like we had to initiate reaction, which is annoying, but that's why I did it because I'm feeling it. So y'all gonna hear me, gonna hear me applaud.
So you can clap. Yeah. It's okay.
Man, I was trying to command so hard. But yeah, and I also liked a great nod to the comics was the outfit of the Doras in that scene where they had the red capes with the fluff on them. Those are like some of my favorite Dora outfits, and they use that. I think that was also in the title where Shuri was in charge and everything. So that was a great nod to the comics as well. But yeah, it's like, oh, we about to roll out. Like, you're gonna help me kill him. I'm gonna kill him. You're gonna help me. Are we clear? We leave in the morning. All right, and then morning comes. And they take this gigantic ship out into the middle of the enemy territory, which is a bold move. And I have some criticisms about that choice. Not even about that choice, but what was void of doing that choice. They have one sonic emitter, a tiny device that creates sound waves at the bottom of the ship. All the warriors are at the top of the ship, maybe a good, I don't know, 50 meters above or whatever that length is. This thing is like 100 feet tall. And all the fight is at the top. The warriors at the top. There's nothing on the bottom protecting y'all from the one thing y'all came here to stop or slow down or prevent. That didn't make sense to me. Y'all Wakandans, y'all supposed to be better than this. Why'd you bring this giant ship for what to fight on top of it? to fight on top of it, you could have lured everybody inside. You could have had the heat joints inside of there, weakening the entire fleet instead of just one person.
First off, the ship was invisible. Why make it visible? Like, why do that? You could have just had it just sonic blasting people, invisible, and
Right.
then have your Doras in the same machine that Nakia used to go save Shuri,
Yeah.
just going around just sniping people while they're getting blasted by the sun. So first, okay. That whole sequence could have been phenomenal, but Ryan Coogler, you fucked it up. Okay, so you were already on a great setup, kind of showing the dissonance between Shuri's line of action and Namor's, like showing her getting more angry, more savage, following the Killmonger mantra, and seeing Namor get more in tune with I have to protect my people. Like my people come first. Like showing it like essentially Shuri taking the villain's journey and Namor take the hero's journey. That you could have made it so in that scene, Wakanda came in and just started slaughtering people. Like I feel like that would have made it hit harder with Shuri making the decision to save them than her people getting back into a corner in your typical boring. That happens so often in everything. It's like be different. Like show them ripping through these people because you already planned for them. Like you literally planned for them, had a strategy that worked immediately, and then stopped doing it midway so they could come beat you. Like why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Did not make sense to me. Even the fighting off the side of the ship was great, but it could have been a lot better. Like they could have been doing all types of tricks and flips and
honestly, that should have been the last line. That should have been the last thing you did. Don't we're gonna build this 40-foot ship just so they can climb it and not have any defenses on the what were you thinking?
Ain't no sentry guns, ain't no shock. They could have put a big old electric thing at the bottom of the joint and fried them boys. They could have did so many.
You could have dropped a toaster from the ship into the water and handled a lot of them. Like, what are we doing here? This was a bag fumble. This is a bag fumble.
Yeah.
And I have to address it because it's so un-Wakandan. Like, you cannot give Wakanda a chance to plan for somebody and then it falls back. Like, that doesn't happen. That's not what has ever happened when you give the Wakandans prep time, especially Shuri, because she's the one that builds most of these things.
Right, exactly.
It didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that herb should have activated her brain like tenfold. Like that joint should have put. I did love to see Riri and them getting together and getting along and like doing that stuff together. That was pretty cool. Even Riri getting along with other Wakandans and all that too. That was pretty cool too. I think they could have leaned into that just a little bit more. But yeah, with having the smartest person, the two smartest people in Marvel right now, they could have definitely done a little bit more with that and had the Wakandans act like they know that like they've been winning wars all eternity. Like, come on. What are we doing?
Because, man, they made the Wakandans look weak this whole movie, and I do not appreciate it. Like, as much as I love the bridge scene that we talked about, I do not love that they had to take an L there. You could have found some way to make it an even thing. Yeah. Like, make it so, the Okoye's about to stab the guy, but, Shuri says, hey, wait, we don't want to start this war. I'll go with them. Like, you could have that same scene.
Yeah.
Without, I did not like how weak the Wakanda was portrayed in this movie at times. That definitely bothered me because it's inaccurate. It's never been that way.
Yeah. That's why it's not a 10 for me. Like I don't think they really capitalized on that properly. And we'll get to my Black Panther rant in a minute. But that's what stopped that movie from being a 10 for me. Is making the Wakanda look mediocre or just like less than they should be. And a slap in the face to the longtime fans. But anyway, so they're fighting on the ship. Namor's fighting in the air. Riri blasts him and traps him in the ship. And then Shuri joins him on the ship. And what does she do? She talks on the phone while this man is getting in a sauna. Still has a spear, by the way. And then he starts stabbing the ship because, he's not being because he could. And nobody was gonna stop him. So, oh man, that was an odd part. They could have had some electric joint zap him or something like that. They could have taken him down in a number of ways, but decided to talk on the phone. He blows the ship up. They end up on this desert land. Shuri keeps getting her butt whooped for a little bit. Meanwhile, yes, the Wakandans also getting their butt whips. And then like this weird three-person fight thing between Okoye and Atuma, Namora and Ironheart, and then Shuri and Namor. And which can be done well sometimes, like when you've got a simultaneous fight thing going on, but they keep knocking these people back in the water, which is the one thing that y'all know y'all not supposed to do. Why did Okoye kick this man back into the water? Why did Ironheart blast this chick back into the water? Why not? The Riri didn't have much of a choice. She's in the air. She had to, whatever. But
keep going, brother. I gotta step away for 1 second.
Go ahead. So y'all, like, I'm trying to understand, the whole logic behind that. They should have had more weapons, right? Okoye and Aneka got upgraded suits with the Midnight Angel uniform, which I was excited to see. I'm glad how they swooped off the plane and rushed the water, went underwater and started fighting. That was cool. Wish I got more of that. Wish they would have had like some depth charges or something like that to throw in the water and blow the Talakani up or something like that. That would have been fire. But yeah, you would think they would have more weapons, especially again when you're facing an enemy that's based in water. Have a weapon that can fight somebody whose powers are based off of water. Like, shock this man.
We've seen them use Black Panther use electric stuff in the MCU, so they have that tech. Like, and you have the best conductor ever in vibranium. Like, there's so many other ways. Like, there should have been a slaughter. Honestly, because the technological advancements of Wakanda versus people that don't know you're coming in water.
Yeah, they should have had an underwater unit or something like that to stop Namora from disrupting the sonic eruptor that had nobody protect. It's like Star Wars. Like, it's that one little part that makes the whole thing go. Like, yeah, y'all tripping. Y'all's absolutely tripping. Oh man. It's just annoying. So the final fight scene between Namor and Shuri. Shuri gets impaled on a spear. Everybody's tripping. Gasps and cries and no, oh my god. Insane part. But it worked out. She pulled herself off the spear, walked back up to Namor, did a flip over him. He put the fists up and said his catchphrase, Imperious Rex. I like that part. He was not going down without a fight.
Right.
And then Shuri baked this man alive. Cooked him, fried him, catfish on a Saturday, man. Just cooked this man with the jet. I was like, oh.
With the Wakanda Forever. It was like, ugh.
That was
it was a nice touch. It was a nice touch.
It was a nice touch. It was a nice touch. But yeah, fried this man alive. And then held a spear up to this man's neck. And then she started to have a conscience. Because why would Disney show somebody actually taking vengeance? This is another thing that in the Sipsy podcast with C-Sane and my man Genesis, they're just like, yo, first of all, Namor wasn't going to yield so easily. Like, she could have leaned into that spear a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Namor is like, nah, you got to kill me to make me surrender. I ain't about to surrender. They could have had, and I did love the connection between Talokan and Wakanda. I thought that was still a pretty good scene because it's like both of our nations are victims of colonialism. Even if it's not direct, still indirectly, we are impacted by the evils that the world has done to people. and we are the only examples that stand between that it feels like we're the only examples that stand between world peace and world domination.
Mm.
And we both could eat, and both of us could either be the conquered or stop people from conquering. And so we're better off leading together because eternal war is not worth all that.
Mm.
So, so I did kind of like it. My friends are like, nah, he should have died, or something else. I wish it was a little bit more intense of that scene. But he yielded,
Yeah.
and yeah, how'd you feel about that whole
I
action?
would have filmed that entire scene completely differently. I
Mm-hmm.
would have, again, going back to the beginning of it, like I would have had, the Wakandans pretty much just destroying these Talakani Talakanians, I guess,
Yeah, Telecom, yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
they had the advantage because they were completely caught off guard, and you have the weaponry. So have them just completely destroying them, and then have the scene focus on everybody versus Namor, because that's what it should have been, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like have the Midnight Angels, have Shuri and Ironheart all trying to contain Namor because he is the biggest threat,
Yeah.
and then really make it so like they had to work to get him down. Like give him the Thanos treatment because I think he's strong enough to have to get that from all these people to go down,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
then end it with that same moment where she chooses to save him instead of killing him off and
Mm-hmm.
calls off the attack on the Talakani. I feel like
Yeah.
that would have made that so much heavier,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and just made it put an emphasis on the things like I could have killed you, but I chose not to.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, if they really could have emphasized that a little bit heavier if they did it that way, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing that was brought up in the other podcast was that Marvel and this thing was like having wars, like having two armies fight each other. It's just like
Mm.
they never get it right, or if they do, but they do it so much that it's just like, okay, why do y'all keep on doing this? Like, if
Mm.
there's only a few characters that are like the main characters, why aren't they the ones scrapping? Why aren't they the ones being in this position to where they get the camera shine? But yeah, I like your idea too. I like the idea of the Wakandans gaining the upper hand, holding the upper hand, and showing the Talakani that even though y'all outnumber us, even though we're in your element right now, we're dominating you in your element. I would have liked that narrative a lot better, but Marvel,
Mm.
Hollywood, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so he yields, and then we're all happy and everything all over again. Cool. And then and then the burning of the morning period. Really somber moment. Again, the silent imagery with images of Chadwick and Shuri interacting. Another heartfelt moment. And leading into the credits right after that was very masterfully done, and it really commanded people's attention and emotions. And then about 60 seconds later,
Mm-hmm.
well, again one of the biggest reveals in Marvel, um, was that there's this little boy who is presented to Shuri by Nakia. This is
Tucson.
beautiful smile. His name is Toussaint, aka the son of King T'Chaka. He is Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa.
Hmm.
And the whole I feel like I missed the second time we watched it, but like the theater was just like, wow, like
Yeah.
they're just like,
Yeah.
what, man, when did this happen? And like now the whole timeline, they're all confused about what the timeline of events happened because this kid's like 6.
Yeah.
And T'Challa died like a year ago, so he kept a kid in hiding like Drake for like for a few years.
No,
Yeah.
so with that, I guess he had that kid with Nakia before the snap. The snap was 5 years long,
Right.
and when he
Yeah.
reappeared, she
Dang.
he lived for another year, but
Yeah.
he already had a kid in hiding.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, which I have still, and this is where I'm gonna start getting into why this thing is kind of crazy to me. So I feel like that was just like a nice little band-aid to put on all the trauma that we just
Mm-hmm,
made y'all
mm-hmm,
experience.
mm-hmm.
I'm really trying to find a way for this to make sense. Like, okay, so if they keep him around, if he ages up to be the new T'Challa. Now you have the whole dynamic shift where, Nakia is now Ramonda, and uh Okoye is still Okoye. Shuri is like Aunt Shuri, the Black Panther. Okay, at some point they're gonna have to fight, and he's gonna have to claim this title. That's like a ways off. I don't know how far in the timeline that's going to happen, but it would feel like there's going to be a few more moves until that happens, which kind of stinks because, again, longtime Black Panther fans want to see T'Challa in action. Um, so I even teased the theory that maybe they'll bring in another T'Challa from a different universe who's like, I lost everything back home. Here's my second chance, or I'm gonna teach y'all what happened in this other universe so it doesn't happen here. And then he's presented with a son. He's like, oh crap, I didn't think this was gonna be a thing. But yes, I will take care of this child like he is my own. Like I feel like that would be okay. But at the same time, I feel like they could have a better ending scene would be Ramonda coming to Shuri or something like that and saying, hey, this isn't over, because death is the beginning in Wakanda, and now that Ramonda is connected to the entire ancestral realm, which doesn't have a time space break, here's a little bit of hope. I found your brother, right? And it's not going to be, oh, it's not that his soul has been deceased. No, I found your brother in another way, right? I feel like that would have been a much bigger reveal, than this cute, adorable kid who's going to grow up to do amazing things in whatever career they decide. But I feel like that would have been what we were looking for. And before I move on, I want to get your opinion on the whole ending part too.
Okay, so I thoroughly agree that that was the Disney's version of a trauma band-aid to kind of like, okay, yeah, we put you through all of this, but hey. But I also think this is them honestly kind of just planning really far ahead. So they're gonna keep this kid around within the MCU for years and let him grow up like in real life, and then use him in that. In the meantime, give Shuri her shine, let her be Black Panther for a bit within the MCU canon.
Mm-hmm.
And when she's done, they already have the next one in place. That's what I think that they're doing.
Yeah.
Do I necessarily love it? No, because I mean you have to wait literal years for
Yeah.
this to see
Kid
it
is
happen.
6.
Yeah, but I definitely think that's what they are doing, and I'm curious to know if they're going to start planning more people like that around to like just be. Oh yeah, we're aging for the next generation too already. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Just so you
Yeah, yeah. Even if they did something where like they just aged the timeline, but they don't really put the timeline in the years that we're going by.
know.
Wait, I'm sorry. Does the MCU do they? I could have heard. Swore I heard somewhere that they aged the MCU in the same time that our reality is going. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, well then fine. Well then
Yeah, the
that
only
like
only instance that was outside of that is when they did the 5 year time skip in Endgame.
yeah.
But other than that, like they're in 2027, we're in 2022. That's
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. That's annoying. And there's like also how do you bring in Storm at that point? So is Storm going to be older than T'Challa? Like what's going on here? Because Professor X in Multiverse of Madness is already an old dude who's already had X-Men and everything like that. So what is he doing in the main 616 MCU whatever? I don't know. Right, so it's just a weird scenario. So I feel like they really should bring back a different T'Challa at some point sooner than later. And I get that, they want to stretch the timeline out. They want to stretch excitement out because they contain it to. If they put all the cookies in one jar, in the Black Panther jar, that outshines everything else, right? No one's gonna care about Ant-Man. No one's gonna care about Fantastic Four because they're gonna be so in love with what Black Panther has done. Like if they had revealed T'Challa right then and there, would have gone crazy, would have blown a lot of things out the water. So it seems like that Marvel isn't giving us the true Wakanda, the Wakanda that longtime fans are used to. And that's different from not giving people the same X-Men that people are used to or the same Spider-Man people are used to. It seems like they're able to take more risks with other projects or other entities and do a little bit more with them. But when it comes to Wakanda being so unique of a property, so unique of an idea, that they don't get to lean into it as much as it should be leaned into. Like, why are they getting out muscled? Why are they getting outsmarted? Why are they, going through these things? Why aren't they being who they are in the comics, which is the strongest, most powerful nation in the entire world, and pretty much almost in most of the galaxies. So it just feels like a slight, and I think that Marvel definitely needs to work on that a bit more and just give people what they want, because a great Wakanda doesn't disrupt a great Manhattan, doesn't disrupt a great, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let Wakanda be great. Let these black people be great. And stop short-sighting people, So that's like the biggest gripe that I have with it is, again, like we've already said, that we're not getting the true Wakanda here. And that feels like a short, because we don't get enough Wakanda as it is. Like, it took forever to get this Black Panther movie. It took another 4 years to get the sequel. We still haven't had a full video game. Black Panther hasn't had his own series since 2011, 2012. So it's like, y'all need to catch up. Y'all need to give us a little bit more. Like, these collaborations and everything is cute, whatever. Some sneakers, some makeup, some Pepsi, whatever. Cool. The popcorn bucket that I still need to go get. I might have to go to AMC tonight and go get that popcorn bucket. I would drop $25 for that popcorn bucket. And that's when I realized, like, AMC, I forgot how much bigger they are than Regal Cinemas. Like,
they're international.
They got a whole shop for Black Panther paraphernalia
they smart
that the Regal doesn't have. I'm like, like, Regal had a contest, or they had a sweepstakes, and thanks to me booking $3,000 worth of seats, that went to my points. So my Regal points is looking lit right now. I got free popcorn for life. But yeah, man, it's just like, like, y'all, it's like it feels like they're colonizers. They're monopolizing this whole Wakanda thing, and we've seen these collaborations that Marvel's been able to do with the whole Wakanda property, and it's like, of course we knew they would do that, but if y'all gonna do that, at least give us like a better Wakanda, give us more to work with, drop that video game a little bit sooner, give us a Black Panther kids show, give us a Black Panther like mature adult show to where he's chopping off heads like we're used to him doing. Like, he's not showing mercy to just anybody. Like, he'll show mercy to people who deserve mercy. If you don't deserve mercy, he's mailing your head back in a bag to your boss. Like, here you go, take this back. Hey, is this your ish? Like, take that back. He's putting people's heads on stakes, all right? Just like he did the Skrulls. Do not come to Wakanda. Don't even try it with us. Like, no, I don't care what planet you're from. So, yeah. So as a Black Panther fan, I give this movie like an 8, because, again, there were so many short things. Like, it's still a beautiful movie. Still, the sequence of events were interesting to watch, but there's just so many shortcuts that they took that didn't make the movie as strong as it could have been. So one side of my heart gives it a 9 to 9.5. The other side gives it 7.5 to 8. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. So for me, like, before I saw this third one, I was like so set in my world that this is a 9.5. Like, this is right there next to perfection. But then I was like, you know what? I gotta be me. I gotta go like deep in this, and was like, what's wrong with this? Because it didn't feel like enough. Like, I was like, no, it's not the beginning, because the beginning was immaculate. It's not the middle. The middle was astonishing.
Yeah.
It's the end. And it's not all of the end, because, like I said, some of the end moments were great, but that it should not have gone that way. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. So I got to give it an 8. It's I mean, still a strong. I mean, 8 is still a strong number.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
It's an 8 for me. It's a good 8. I enjoyed it. That's probably going to be the Marvel movie I end up watching the most, because I do see me watching this and learning from it, and honestly, I'm applying it to some of my own writing, because I mean, nice. I'm all about being the change you want in the world. I want to see better Black Panther content, so I'm just gonna write my own version of better Black Panther content, essentially.
Word. Excellent, man. And that's the thing, man. We're trying to push this Wakandaverse again, because it doesn't seem like, these properties that own it, the powers that own it, are really showing what Wakanda could be. to the general public. Like we're getting it's the same way like when you're of a foreign ethnicity and then you try American food or like you get your food Americanized. Like that's how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I'm saying. We
Mm-hmm.
can't get good
That's
Jamaican
exactly
food
it.
because they take out all the spices. You know what I mean? So it's like that's kind of how it's feeling. So we gotta do our own home cooking. We gotta cook at home and trap it out the house, man. Sell it, sling it out the trap house. That's what we got
Yeah.
to do with this whole kind of thing.
Basically, I feel at the end of the day with Black Panther and the MCU, they've given us bully chicken instead of jerk chicken. I want my
Mm,
jerk chicken. Like, yeah.
yeah, yeah, man. And hey, we got to get cooking, man. You know what time it is. That's all
Mm.
that means. So, the Wakanda Alliance, the Galactic Tribe, we will still keep pushing creativity. We're gonna have another event on the 26th of November, to where we're gonna be talking about the movie again, especially with the people who got to see it with us. And people who didn't, you know, we're giving people time to kind of watch it and everything because not everybody came to the premiere. So we're giving people more time. Maybe have some fun and games going on. We got a new Uno deck, Marvel themed Uno or something like that. You haven't played that Wakanda board game yet, have you?
I have not, and I
Oh
need to.
man, you're in a treat. We got that one. Go to if y'all can, y'all go to Target, see if that Wakanda Forever game is still available. I didn't see it in the store, which is ridiculous, but I got that joint for like $13. I got it on a deal, and it is a very fun board game to play, and it is a treacherous board game to play. Like the way that you have to battle somebody else for the throne, it's crazy because it's a dice rolling game too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all chance. But I mean, like there's a little bit of skill on like how you maintain your vibranium currency and whatnot. But man, when I tell you them dice is ruthless, like yes, it's a chance that you are not. You will have your title stripped away from you, and you'll become less powerful. But yeah, I definitely recommend that. But yeah, that board game's pretty sick. We're gonna do some game nights, especially while we got this break going and everything. You know, we'll set some things up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, y'all, that's what it is. This has been our Black Panther 2 review. I know there's a lot more things out there. I think there's also more to talk about. I think we need to bring in some more voices on this
Absolutely.
show because this definitely won't be a one-off type of thing because of the nature of what we do. So I would love
Yeah.
to get some more people in here. You got anybody on your mind who could add to this conversation, Luce?
Oh, for sure, gonna bring Charlie and Ethan in to talk about this.
Dope.
Got to get John in here to talk because he gave me some bars. One of the guy that said that he was picked. He's got daughters.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up actually talking to him later. He's a filmmaker himself, so I'm gonna talk to him and get him in to
Oh
get
yeah, that
some
was
his
him that
points.
said that. Man,
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had saw somebody right after the movie who said the same thing, but you know what? It was him. Okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that'd be great. Yeah. Also get some women in here too because that was a girl power movie that I really
Yeah,
dug
it
that
was.
too. You know
Sure
what
to
I'm
get
saying?
Erica in here because she was the reason why the second watching of that was probably my favorite of the three because
Yeah,
she was just like, oh my, like she was asking the questions that she needed to ask, but she had the hype and energy that I felt
yeah.
was required to
Mm-hmm.
be in the theater watching this movie. You're supposed to be like that. Like so shout out to Siren for that. She was a dope movie buddy.
Yeah. Shout out to Siren. Man, I would love to bring her on too if she gets here on time. But, but yeah, yo, that just so many beautiful black moments in that movie, especially for black women and black women. Yo,
Boy,
y'all got y'all
Lupita
one.
and that
Y'all
son,
got y'all
bro.
one. Oh yeah, no, that's something that by the beach, man. Oh man, I can't wait for Storm to be in there. If we get Storm and Angela and Okoye or Denai, if we get all these women in one movie, oh my god, it's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I did want to circle back real quick to
Mhm.
the whole Angela Bassett thing, yo. And I think I'm gonna make this into a meme. So, and her last name Bassett, you know, B. There's a B, there's an A, there's an S, there's a T. So it's like,
Bust.
you know what I mean? Like, I
Mm.
feel like she could be if they ascend her to like a godhood of some sort, that would be very fire. I'm just saying, Marvel. Like, yes, I know y'all be listening to my podcast and my words and my phone for ideas. So, you know, if you have to listen to one of them, you know, listen to this one.
Mm.
But yeah, man. But yeah, we're gonna keep the conversation going, y'all. Thanks for watching the Galactic Tribe podcast. listening to the Galactic Tribe podcast. It's the second episode. Our first episode was pretty much our opinions before the movie, expectations and all that, which I really want to hear that for myself again. So go back and check that out if you'd like. Otherwise, go to the galactictribe.org. We got some new merchandise out that is fire. Thank you to Ethan and the whole Echelon team for putting those together so last minute. I don't know if we got any pre-sales yet, but I'm gonna start to make the t-shirts this week, and hopefully we can show that off. So go to thegalactictribe.org and check out the shop. We got some nice things coming on there. Sign up for the newsletter, especially if you're in the Buffalo, New York area, Western New York area, to stay tuned to everything that we're going to be doing and dropping in the next month or so. We're going to be going underground for a little bit to go back into the Wakanda lab, you know what I'm saying? Work on some vibranium a little bit and, restructure everything for the next set of programming. But we still will continue the podcast and keep some other things going. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. Lelouche, anything else before we bounce?
Yeah, well, we for sure have to talk more about the movie because I feel like we got into it from a cinematic level. Yeah, I definitely want to get into some of the imaging behind it too. So I'm looking forward to talking with more people about that. And just make sure you tune in to Barter Proof Entertainment. We be putting out a lot of stuff. We connect with a lot of people, and we're trying to get the word out there, man. So stay tuned.
That's
And of
it.
course,
That's it.
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever. See y'all next time. Peace.